Welcome to Hens Sport Night, your University of Delaware sports broadcasting show. I'm Andrea, joined by Olivia, and we're going to kick things off by talking about Major League Baseball. The Houston Astros won the World Series in 6 games over the Philadelphia Phillies behind an MVP performance by rookie shortstop Jeremy Pena.
Moving on to the NFL, Tom Brady becomes the first player in NFL history to surpass 100,000 career pass yards. The Buffalo Bills lose 33-30 to the Minnesota Vikings in an overtime what may be the craziest game of the year, as Kevin will discuss later in tonight's show.
What might be even crazier is that the Eagles are no longer undefeated as they lost their first game of the season to the Commanders by a shocking score of 32-21. And Saquon Barkley's contract is about to expire with the New York Giants, but he won't talk about signing with new teams until the end of the season.
In the NHL, the New Jersey Devils have won 9 straight games, and fans chant "Sorry, Lindy," after chanting to fire head coach Lindy Ruff earlier this season. In UD athletics, Delaware football lost in a heartbreaking fashion to Richmond on Saturday with just seconds left in the game, but looked to bounce back at Villanova this weekend.
Another heartbreaking loss for Delaware was when field hockey lost to number 1 North Carolina in the NCAA tournament, officially ending their season. On the other hand, women's volleyball earned their 3rd seed in the CAA tournament and faced number 6 Charleston on Thursday at 7 p.m.
Both men's and women's basketball are 1-1 following their first 2 games of the season. The women take on VCU at home tonight, and the men will travel to face Duke this Friday. Now to Kevin for a review of this weekend's Bills vs. Vikings game.
How you guys doing? It's Kevin D. Almeida, and I'm coming to you with the craziest game I've ever seen, definitely football-wise. The Minnesota Vikings versus the Buffalo Bills. Roll the clip. So we start with Kirk Cousins finding the best receiver in the league, Justin Jefferson. He going off for 30 yards in this one. He goes off for upwards of 150 yards this game. Justin Jefferson is just playing to his strengths. And Kirk Cousins does something un-Cousins-like. He finds Justin Jefferson in the end zone. Yeah, Kirk Cousins doesn't really do this stuff for real, but ever since he put them chains on, he's been getting a little crazy. And then we move on to the Buffalo Bills getting a touchdown because you know the Minnesota Vikings can't hold nothing because they are the Minnesota Vikings. And clearly, as you can see, the Buffalo Bills will take a 14-7 lead. But it doesn't stop there. They're going to keep getting trashed. But Cousins ends up doing something more Cousins-like, throwing an interception in the middle of the field when he has an open receiver, and the Buffalo Bills get back into the red zone. And we're going to move on to Josh Allen, doing Josh Allen things, moving like him. Obviously, he can't be tackled. He's one of the best quarterbacks out there. And it ends in a touchdown for Gabe Davis. They go up 24-10, and then Kirk Cousins does something, another thing Kirk Cousins like, and then they're going to go down 10-27. But this is when the comeback starts. Dalvin Cook using his dreadlock powers, getting into the end zone for a 71-yard touchdown. Here come the Minnesota Vikings. And we move on to Josh Allen finding Stephon Diggs with one of the best catches you're going to see, but it's not going to be the best catch you see today. We move on to Kirk Cousins running for 25 yards. I know that run looked a little stiff. I'm not going to lie. It didn't look right. But then he's going to find Justin Jefferson for one of the best catches I've ever seen in my entire life. Odell Beckham, eat your heart out. You can't even do that. Look at him, bro. I need y'all to see the slow-mo. This is the one replay you're going to see because Justin Jefferson put his paw right in between his hands, and he yoked that out of his hands. I'm not going to lie. He sunned that man. If I'm playing for the Bills, man, I don't think I could look that man in the face after that, after getting snatched by one hand. And then we move on to Cousins giving it to Dalvin Cook, who leaks out for the touchdown. Boop, boop. He can't get it done. But then the Buffalo Bills are going to fumble the ball at the 1-yard line, and it being recovered by the Minnesota Vikings, thus giving them a 3-point lead with 35 seconds left. We move on to a field goal after Josh Allen was able to get them up the field with 35 seconds left. But we move on to overtime. Cousins finding Justin Jefferson, the best link-up of the night at the 1-yard line. But obviously, as the Vikings, they can't do it. You know what I'm saying? But then Josh Allen ends up throwing the game away in the red zone, with the Minnesota Vikings taking the game, ending on an interception, one of the greatest games we're ever going to see in our lifetime. Justin Jefferson going off. Kirk Cousins looking like one of the best QBs out there. It's one of the best games I've ever seen. I'm going to say that again. All right, now we're going to move on to game predictions with Olivia and Tony.
As you just heard, I'm Olivia here with Tony, and we're going to be making some game predictions for the next 2 weeks. Starting off with the NBA, this Friday we're going to see the Lakers play the Spurs. And the Lakers have not been having such a great record, so I'm kind of leaning towards the Spurs on this one. What do you think?
See, being though the Lakers is my favorite team, we are having a very disappointing season so far with only 3 wins. LeBron James did recently get injured with a groin injury, so I'm still going to go with the Lakers, of course. I'm not going to go against the Lakers. I can't. It's the Lakers. The Spurs are not. The Spurs are decent. They're all right. They're not all that. But I got the Lakers winning. You know, this will kickstart their comeback to the season this year. And moving on, this Saturday we have the 76ers versus the Timberwolves. This will be a great game. You know, the Timberwolves is from the West. The Sixers are from the East. And Joel Embiid has been having a great season so far after he had a disappointing first three couple games to the season. But I will go with the Sixers, of course. You know, I can't go against the Sixers. Definitely not against the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are garbage.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. The 76ers, I think, are going to have this one. They're ranked number 10 on the NBA Power Rankings with the Timberwolves at number 24. So that significant difference between their records just kind of reflects really like their skill levels and how they're going to be against each other. So I'm definitely going to agree with you on the 76ers. Next Wednesday, we're going to see the Clippers versus the Warriors. And the Warriors, they have a lower record, but they have a higher rank. And in all of their previous matchups and most of them, the Clippers tend to have the history of winning against the Warriors. So with all of that, I'm thinking the Clippers.
Yeah, both of these teams are having a disappointing season. More so the Clippers. The Clippers are absolutely garbage. All they have is Paul George. Kawhi Leonard has not shown up. He's been injured since 2015, you know. And the Warriors they have Steph Curry. I couldn't say Steph Curry hasn't been having a great season. He did so last year, which is one of the reasons why they also won a championship last year. So I will go with the Warriors, actually. I do not like the Warriors at all. Absolutely hate the Warriors, in my opinion. I do hate them. But, yeah, I will go with the Warriors, you know. Then this Sunday we have the Jets versus the Patriots. In a rivalry game versus Bill Belichick. Being though my favorite team is the New York Jets, we have been having a great year. We just beat the Bills a couple weeks ago, and I will not go against my Jets. I'm going with the Jets.
Yeah, that was a pretty surprising upset. You know, the Jets beating the Bills was unexpected considering how well the Bills have been doing. But in this matchup, the Patriots are usually favored to win, and they're also playing the Patriots at home. So with that home field advantage, it's looking pretty good for the Patriots. But, yeah, who knows? It could go either way. This Sunday, we're going to see the Browns versus the Bills. And the Bills are at number 5, and the Browns are all the way down at number 24. The Bills previously held the number 1 spot for a long time. As we've been saying, they have a great season, but, you know, I think it's pretty evident that they're going to do so much better. So I'm thinking the Bills. What do you think?
Yeah, the Browns and the Bills. That will be actually a pretty decent game, you know. Being though that the Bills recently lost, as we saw from Kevin, giving us a little highlight spiel, you know. So I would say, in my opinion, I will have to go with the Browns. The Bills are a favorite to win, most likely, because they are the Bills. They are much better than the Browns. But the Browns is not the team to be slept on this season. They're not. Then this Sunday, the Sunday on the 27th, actually, we have the Eagles versus the Packers. And I predicted the Eagles losing to the Commanders. And they did lose in their first game, as I said. Because, you know, the Commanders upset the Pittsburgh Steelers last year. The Steelers went undefeated for a while. So, you know, I'm going to go with the Packers on this one. Aaron Rodgers, I can actually, like, that Packers team last week surprised me when they won. So, you know, I'm going to go with the Packers on this one.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty surprising loss, I will say, for the Eagles. But they are still, you know, they are number 1, and they've been holding that for the past 2 weeks. And even though they're no longer undefeated, they still won 8 straight games in a row, which is very impressive. And considering that the Packers haven't been doing that great, I feel like that loss was a little bit of a fluke, even though
A fluke.
I know what you're saying about the
fluke.
Commanders.
A fluke is crazy.
I understand,
fluke
but
is wild.
I don't know. I have faith in the Eagles, and I think that they're going to continue to win this next one. Next up, we have college football. This Saturday, we're going to see UD play Villanova. And UD, we've been having a pretty good season, and we do have the better record against Villanova. We're 7-3 against Villanova's 5-5. And it's the last game of the season, and I think we can do it. I think UD's going to win this one.
Yeah, I can actually agree with you on that one. Maybe not them other few choices you had up in the beginning, but yeah, definitely this one, because you cannot go against not the home team in this case, but you can go against the school that you go to. It is UD at the end of the day. UD is 7-3. Villanova is not a football school; they are a basketball school, which is the reason why UD will easily get this win this Sunday or this Saturday. And then Saturday on 26, we have Alabama versus Auburn. And one of the greatest rivalries I've ever seen in my entire life, the Iron Bowl. Alabama is absolutely disappointing this season. They were supposed to be so good. I haven't seen much from them this year. They played against scrubs that they won against. And then last week they lost to LSU. And LSU is decent, but they're not that good. So I'm going to go with Auburn, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I might have to disagree with you. I definitely see what you're saying about Alabama's, recent losses, and they have definitely been losing where they should have been winning. However, in this classic matchup, Alabama does have the better record against them. And Alabama, though they have been losing a little bit, they are still undefeated at home. So with that home field advantage, I think maybe they can get back on track, but we'll have to see.
I don't know about that one.
Also this Saturday, the 26th, Michigan is playing Ohio State, which is another huge rivalry game. And they actually currently have identical records. Both are undefeated with 10-0. So somebody's going to lose their streak. It could go either way. I'd say maybe Michigan. What do you think?
So in the presence of me being the Ohio State Buckeyes fan, I can't say that one team that you said in the beginning. It's called the team from up north, They are that team from up north. They are undefeated, yeah. But at the end of the day, it is the Buckeyes that will get the win easily. C.J. Stroud, great receiving core. Marvin Harrison Jr., Hopefully Maya Williams come back from the injury he had. But, at the end of the day, it is the Ohio State Buckeyes will get the W. And that team from up north will not be in the playoffs, will not be in the Big Ten championship this year. End of the day. O-H-I-O. Yes, sir, Buckeyes. Go Buckeyes.
We'll definitely have to see. It's a pretty even matchup. Now let's hear Andrea tell us about the Delaware Field Hockey's NCAA tournament run.
On Sunday, November 6th, Delaware was crowned CAA champions following their 6-1 win versus Drexel. This got them a spot in the NCAA tournament versus Lehigh in the opening round. 11 minutes into the game, Leah Becker gets a penalty corner off this play, and the Blue Hens capitalize with a goal by Julia Duffhouse.
As you see on the insert, Backerman sets it up. And what a gorgeous goal.
About 2 minutes later, Berber Backermans to Kiki Odshorn to Sean Emsley.
Tipped and a goal for Delaware.
Skipping ahead to the third quarter, this errant pass by Lehigh turns the ball over. Defense leads to offense, and Leah Becker gives Delaware a 3-0 lead right out of halftime.
Picked off by Duffhouse, and now the Blue Hens on the attack. Barebackens. Leah Becker with a great strike.
But the Delaware offense wasn't done yet. In the next play, Outhorn with her second assist to Genevieve Johnson rounds out the scoring in the opening round.
As Outhorn picks the pocket, now charges in. And there's a goal.
Look at this beautiful shot with the left side of the goal left entirely wide open.
Blue Hens as they take down the Lehigh Mountain Hawks by a score of 4-0.
This win allows UD to advance to the first round and face the number 1 seeded North Carolina Tar Heels, and Delaware shocks everyone when they grab an early 1-0 lead.
12 seconds into the game, Delaware has their first corner. Duffhouse drag flick, and Delaware is up on top.
Here's the replay, inserted by Ashton Carr to Backermans and the finish from Duffhouse. The undefeated Tar Heels respond a few minutes later to tie the game and then get a penalty corner to take the lead.
Sienna Ricardo with the insert to her sister Romay. Matson to Bruning, deflected and it's in! Finally execute a corner to perfection and have taken the lead.
UNC scores a couple more goals to lead 4-1 with over 6 minutes left in the first half, when this mistake by Delaware allows the Tar Heels to turn defense into offense and to show why they're the best team in the country.
Now Matson switches the field. Sessa dummies it to Ricardo. Heck is in open space in the circle. Heck, Sessa, and a beautiful flick.
The final score is UNC 5, Delaware 1, as North Carolina will keep dancing in the NCAA tournament and advance to face St. Joseph's in the second round. Unfortunately, Delaware's season is over, but the 2016 national champions look to return in the tournament again next season.
How you guys doing? It's Kevin D. Almeida and Tony Dean back on your screen, and we're coming back with your hot takes. How you doing, Tony?
Doing actually pretty
Good,
well,
brother.
you know.
So today we're talking about underwhelming and teams that like surprise teams that's gonna make the playoffs. Sometimes teams that's not gonna make the playoffs. Tell me your surprise NBA team,
My surprise NBA team.
good or bad?
First, we're going to start off with the bad, you know. Of course, the LA Lakers, you know, we are very disappointing this season, man. Only with 3 wins.
Trash.
I just haven't. I can't even turn on TNT. I can't even watch the games anymore. It's just, I know we're going to lose.
Good thing they don't even put them on national television no more. They're a real lottery team for real.
But,
Bron
you
not
know,
helping.
cool. I mean, yeah, he's injured. That's why he's not helping. But
Man, he's not helping
watch.
that much when he's on the court either.
What you mean by that?
You saw that game they won against the Nets. I'm saying I think the team was flowing a little better without Bron. Hey, maybe he has something to answer to now. You know what I'm saying? He's 38 years old, so there's nothing wrong with it. There's no criticism on Bron because he's supposed to be slowing down. But I think it's the beginning of the end for LeBron James.
This is not the beginning of the end. This is actually the beginning
Of what?
of greatness.
Of greatness.
You witnessed greatness for 20 years. Now, in these next couple of years, when his career starts to wind down, he will still be great. He's not nowhere near done. He's nowhere near done.
I think he'll still be great. I'm just not sure if he's going to be a top 3, top 5 player in the league that like he's been basically his entire career. So
He will be. Don't worry. He will. He will definitely be.
hey man, I hope so for our Lakers, but yeah, I'm gonna move on to a team that I think that's just not gonna. I think my surprise team that's not gonna make the playoffs is the Brooklyn Nets. I think the Brooklyn Nets, they have so much going on. They just fired their coach, even though they just talked about how they love to keep their coach after KD requested a trade, asking for him to be fired. It's like they knew. It's like I don't even know what's going on over there.
Poor Steve Nash.
I'm loving this downfall as a brother from Jersey because they wanted to leave Jersey. I feel like they're cursed. They'll
New
never be
Jersey
able to do
Nets.
well type thing because now they're in Brooklyn. Brooklyn stole from Jersey. You know what I'm saying? So now all that luck and all that gracefulness that brings a championship is being stolen from them.
But if we've been honest, though, when was the last time the team with the name Nets actually been good? Since when? Darren Williams? That was really the last since when Dr. J, technically, you want to be honest.
Nah, I'm talking about, hey, man, when it was in Jersey, the Jersey Nets was making the finals regularly. So,
When, early 2000s?
Oh, yeah, early 2000s.
Early
Jason
2000s,
Kidd,
you know.
Richard Jefferson, Kenyon Martin. Like, come on now.
Yeah, I can
the
definitely
Nets
agree.
used to get crazy, but now they're in Brooklyn. So, you know what I'm saying? They
I
got that
know.
little bad juju on them.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some surprise players. Like, there's some breakout players. There's some players playing out of their skin at the beginning of the season. Who's your best?
Definitely, you know. You expect to see Luka up there on the top, of course. But you know who's very been surprising, averaging 31 points?
Who?
Shai.
Gildress?
Shai Gilgeous, averaging 31.
Hey, man.
At
that
the
sound
age
crazy.
of what? Like, what is he, like 23, 24?
Oh, yeah.
He's young.
Yeah,
He's a young guy. He's been, for the last 8 games, averaging probably 36 points per game. He's been cooking the league. Then again, the Thunder is a mid-team, but they're also young. So I will give them that. They have enough time to grow still. They got a bunch of 2-year players, bunch of rookies. I'm telling you what, they're very slept on.
Oh, I don't know how slept on the Oklahoma City Thunder is. I feel like by the time the winter hits more like January, February, I'll be sleeping with the AC on. You know what I'm saying?
They won't be though.
No, hey, they might be sleeping at the bottom of the. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
definitely
Tanking
not.
for Victor Wembanyama. You seen him? You know what I'm saying?
Definitely
But
Definitely not. Definitely not tanking this year.
my breakout player this year is Tyrese Halliburton. The Sacramento Kings look very stupid right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Facts.
He's averaging 21 and 10. He's setting up multiple open shots. He's actually involving people into the game. There's 3 people on that Indiana Pacers team that are actually averaging over 15 points, which shows that as a point guard, he's getting everybody involved, including the center, including the wings, including his other guard.
But eventually, he won't have Miles Turner no more though. He will be. They won't have him no more. So we'll see what he can do.
Hey, man. If they trade Miles Turner, they gonna end up in the bottom of the rankings, and you know what's gonna happen? They gonna be taken for Wemby. So if they get Victor Wembanyama, I don't think they're upset about losing games this season.
I don't know.
But that's it for the basketball talk, because this is our last show before the Thanksgiving games. So let's talk about NFL Thanksgiving games. We got, let's start with a calm one. Let's start with the Buffalo Bills versus the Detroit Lions. Who you think is coming through with that one? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I know you're not wondering, bro.
I am wondering.
If you don't just pick the damn team, there's only one team that can win that game.
The Lions.
I beg your pardon?
The Lions.
Yeah, dog.
The Lions will get the win, bro. I'm telling you right now. Bro, you got to think about it. The Bills lost, what, two straight?
And so what do you think is going to happen to that next team, bro?
The Lions is going to win. That's what's going to happen. The Lions play on Thanksgiving year by year by year.
I can't take you seriously right now, dog.
The Lions is going to win, bro. I'm telling you. So who you think? The Bills?
Yes.
Why?
What?
Why?
Stephon, Devin Singletary, Josh Allen,
DeAndre Swift.
Come on now.
DeAndre Swift.
He's
Swift.
We're not doing that.
He's Swift, I'm telling you.
We're not doing that. He get a little Swifty, you know what I'm saying? But it's Detroit Lions. They just, I'm sorry.
Detroit.
They started off the season well. They're going to be calm, but like, no, I got the Buffalo Bills showing that they are the Buffalo Bills and they are one of the favorites to be in the Super Bowl. And I have Josh Allen throwing a great game in that game. But let's move on to one of the more spicier games. Let's go the Patriots versus the Vikings. I feel like these teams are kind of even.
Even?
All right. I might have lied.
Yeah.
I think this one might be just
on
as
the
obvious.
even part.
I think it might be. Yeah, I bet.
It's lopsided.
It's very lopsided. It's very lopsided.
And it's lopsided for the Vikings. The Vikings is going to kill Bill Belichick and the Patriots. It's not even going to be close.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Kirk Cousins is gonna do something Cousins like that game. I'm gonna lie.
And he's gonna win.
No.
You saw what he just did. You saw.
Yeah.
And you was up there showing us the highlights. You saw what he did versus the Bills.
All I'm saying is it required the Buffalo Bills to sell for the entire fourth quarter. And I don't know. I feel like Bill Belichick is one of them coaches that could get it done. But let's move on to the last game, a spicy game. We have the Giants versus the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm not going to lie. It's a divisional game.
Mm-hmm.
And the
very important game
Cowboys
as well.
have been doing well. The Giants been shockingly doing well.
They
For
got
some
7
reason.
wins.
Don't know how.
It's because Daniel Jones is
Danny Dimes. He might be him.
That's
but
Daniel Jackson.
I'm going with the Giants. The Giants.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. The Giants with Daniel Jackson. You know what I'm saying? He's moving like Lamar Jackson.
Sorry to my friends out there.
I think that's great. But that ends our hot takes for this. We're gonna see you later, and we're moving on to our commercial. See y'all later.
Tonight on 49 News.
Here are tonight's top stories.
President Harker announced his resignation as university president.
UD is also named an A-plus school for B-plus students. Look at us, guys. We're adequate.
I'm Kyle Coulter, and welcome to the 49 News Blue Hens Sports Report.
I think we're a top 10 team in the nation. We've had so many injuries and illnesses, and I give them a ton of credit.
Welcome to the Bi-Weekly Show. I'm your generic brand host, Shannon Polson, and we have quite the show for you tonight.
Shannon, I'm the director. I think I would know more than anyone when the live show is.
A pair of fresh beer cans. If you listen closely, you can hear its definite mating call.
I was 13 and I was too busy to go to the bathroom for 48 hours. That's what I said.
It is time for Hot Topics. Here at Real Talk, we do a little something called Hot Topics, which are a weekly dose of what's going on around the world.
And I know somebody out there is wondering, what exactly is Netflix and chill?
Make sure to catch us at stn49.com/live. I'm Melissa Duarte. Good night.
moving on to soccer. I'm Maris, and I'm joined with Kevin. And even despite the controversy with the World Cup, it starts this Sunday versus Qatar versus Ecuador. It should be an interesting start to the tournament. But who are you rooting for the rest of the tournament?
I mean, naturally, as a natural-born American, I gotta. Even though I'm African, I'm rooting for all African teams, of course. But for specifically, I'm rooting for the U.S. men's national team. Fun fact: Greg Berhalter actually graduated from my alma mater, St. Benedict's Prep in Newark, New Jersey. He was just inducted to the Hall of Fame there. Hopefully, he can bring the United States past the round of 16 because they haven't been past that in a very long time. I feel like they have a bunch of young players. This is one of the most talented crop of players they've had in a very long time. The issue is they seem to be a little vanilla. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're just feel like teams tend to bully them a lot, and they're not able to hold strong against strong defenses and overcoming attack. Hopefully, they're able to do well. They have a tough group with England and Wales. You want to touch on that?
Yeah, I mean, you have England that's going on a high despite their loss in the Euro final. But, I mean, USA is like a young team, so they obviously want to prove something. But you have Wales that you never know what Bale's going to do, right? So you just have to be aware of that. And then, I mean, I'm rooting for Mexico, so I'm on the same boat as you are. We're just kind of just riding the waves here, just seeing what the coaching is going to be like. And, I mean, just defend. And hopefully we get through that round. But it's going to be a tough one for us.
Yeah, I feel like the World Cup, especially for like every country, is like a time for everybody to be excited and come together and see a celebration of everything. And when your team does bad, the celebration really ends very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
So let's move on from that.
So moving on to the top teams, going in first, we have France, who won the previous World Cup. How do you think they'll do? I'm kind of iffy on this one.
They didn't do too well at the Euros. They left in the round of 16, losing to Switzerland after being up 2 goals and conceding 2 in like the last 5 minutes. It was kind of ridiculous. But I actually think this French team is one of the most ridiculous teams I've ever seen in my entire life. With Kylian Mbappe, Karim Benzema, Ousmane Dembele, Antoine Griezmann, all up front, and then you have a plethora of defenders. Almost every defender on that squad would probably start for all the other teams. So that's why I really think France is gonna be in the final. Yeah, I think gonna be able to overcome all the injuries with Christopher Nkunku being injured today, Pogba and N'Golo Kante not playing. Those are big misses for that team, as Pogba and Kante has been their starting midfield for the last 6 years. But I also think France is just too stacked.
Yeah, they do. They do have a good, talented team. So I'll agree with that. But I don't know if they're gonna make the final. I don't think so. I'm gonna go for Argentina making the final. It's possibly gonna be Messi's last World Cup. But I mean, Messi's literally the GOAT. So I'm a Barcelona fan, and I hate that he just doesn't play there anymore. But Messi's been doing really well with PSG right now, and so has Neymar, right? And Kylian Mbappe, you mentioned him. But I think Messi is gonna want that last win, at least to end his World Cup appearances.
Yeah, I think Argentina is a very interesting team. I think they're still a team that revolves around Lionel Messi, and I think that's actually going to work to their detriment at the World Cup because Lionel Messi is not the same player that he was before, even though he is still arguably the best player in the world right now.
Yeah.
Lionel Messi, he has a bad track record in the knockout stages of the World Cup, so I'm not entirely sure that they'll be able to hold out on that. But I will touch on the final that we'd all like to see. We would love to see Argentina versus Portugal with Cristiano Ronaldo. This also might be his final World Cup. If you want to touch on more of the players they have.
I mean, yeah, Portugal, it's a team to be reckoned with. I mean, definitely, you never know. They have a good mix of, like, you mentioned Ronaldo, right? You have a good vet leading them. And then you have João Felix right behind him that's literally a prodigy. Like, he's just so good. So, I don't know. I mean, I'd love to see Portugal versus Argentina. It'd be a great clash of legends, right? And
it would end the GOAT debate forever. Whoever wins that game is the GOAT.
Yes. And then Netherlands, I mean, we mentioned young players, right? Netherlands is one of those teams. They have Xavi Simons, Frankie John, and then leaders like Van Dijk. So I honestly think Netherlands are going to they should pass to the
Mhm.
round of 16, right? But I don't know. I feel like they're those teams that you just never know if they're gonna bring their A game or just sit out.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna lie. My take is really kind of based on the fact that the United States is in Group B. But I don't think the Netherlands are gonna top that group. I don't think they're gonna do well. Hopefully they don't end up playing the United States in round of 16 if the United States is able to get in the top 2. But yeah, the Netherlands have a very inconsistent team. Memphis Depay is
Yeah.
not playing as many games as Lewandowski plays for Barcelona. He starts. I think the miss of Gini Wijnaldum, he's also a very big leader for
Yes.
that team. I think they're really going to miss him. And I think they just don't have enough quality. I don't think De Jong has had one of his best years. He's been good, but Barcelona seems to be like they're moving on from him at this point. And
Yeah.
and Virgil van Dijk is having one of the worst seasons he's had in a very long time. So I don't think the Netherlands are going to do that great. But moving on to another team that I'm not entirely sure about, England. The English national team has been good. I have no faith in their coach. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh.
I think they're a team that completely relies on set pieces. They don't
okay.
really get a lot of their work in open play. I think Harry Kane is an overrated player for their
Oof.
national team because he was top scorer of the last World Cup for them, but he scored like 4 penalties.
But I mean, the Euros was a really good tournament for him. So
Yeah.
I honestly think Harry Kane's gonna score a couple goals and definitely lead them into that round of 16, and hopefully we'll have the U.S. beat them if they make it, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's the goal. And then Brazil. I mean, we mentioned players like Neymar on PSG, right? So what about Dani Alves? I mean, he was formerly in the Mexican League, right, with Pumas, which makes like a little downplayed. So him to make the World Cup.
It's so weird being back on campus. It feels like it's been so long, but at the same time, it's like we never left.
I know. I feel like that every time.
So did you do anything fun this summer?
Well, me and my family went to Maine.
Oh, that's so fun.
How have you been? Oh my God. Nice to meet you. My name's Jake.
Hey, Sam. I think you're the first person to ever try to belly bump me.
Sam, what do you mean? That's how everybody greets each other.
Is that like a side effect of COVID or something?
Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, no, I'm feeling fine, but what happened to the fist bump? Like,
The what?
fist bump?
That's a bit too much for a greeting, don't you think?